Welcome, lazy gamers and fans of Civ6. So the Babylon 3 stars each Redux, the new challenge is going to drop probably sometime tomorrow. And when that happens, I just wanted to make this short video about a refresher on how to approach Babylon. For me, like the last time I played Babylon was in the original 3 stars each. Effectively, this one that's going to drop tomorrow is going to be I'm expecting it to be a DT challenge where pretty much same conditions. The main thing here is the tech and civic tree is going to be shuffled. And just like how eurekas give you the tech, I believe inspirations are going to give you the civics directly. So there is definitely a buff. It's actually a huge buff to play Babylon. But on the flip side, typically Babylon gets half the science from population, and I believe in this case, it's like there is a 99% reduction, which means we can't rely on population-driven science and culture anymore. Which really, I mean, I think it makes Pingala quite a lot less effective. But besides that, the other things should not be changed. Should remain unchanged. Which pretty much makes a play around getting like optimal eurekas and optimal inspirations the way to play Babylon. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create let's create a Babylon game, right? Just, standard stuff. The reason is I want to look through the tech and civic tree and essentially come up with a list of all the things that you need to be doing, and in some cases, the order of doing certain things, because it does matter. So there is an order to how you want to be making sure you're optimizing your eurekas. I'm just going to go through a list of districts you need, a list of units you need, a list of buildings and tile improvements that need to happen. I'm assuming that the only victory type available is going to be science. It's possible that there are other victory types in play, but if it is science alone, then that will definitely focus our Eureka plays down. Let's just talk about districts for a second. So one thing with Babylon is there are scattered throughout the tech tree and in fact even the civic tree. There are things where you need to build, like for example, two harbors, right? You need like basically at some of the two harbors, the two banks, I believe. Yep, economics. Point is, there are some districts you're going to need two of, right? So you are going to need two campuses, two harbors, at least one encampment, because you will be building one armory. But really, believe it will be three, because in the civic tree, if your game is taking you down the path towards military fascism, where you have to build three military academies, clearly you need three encampments then. Same thing with industrial zones. You need at least two for the two workshops that boost some tech. But if you're aiming for communism, then you need three factories. You need two commercial hubs. You need two neighborhoods, two theater squares, literally one each for an archaeological museum and one for an art museum. Two entertainment complexes. You will need two aerodromes, counting the Diplo and the government plaza. At least one spaceport. At least one aqueduct. You're looking at like a total of 20 odd districts. Like I think the count comes up to 20 exact, but things will never be exactly the at this number. And out of those, for those 20 districts, if we just do simple math here, if each city reaches 10 pop and is able to build four districts, at the bare minimum, you need five cities, each of them going to 10 pop. You'll probably need more than that, but five is the bare minimum to make sure all of this, you have the room to build all of these districts. Now, this is not even counting holy sites. If your play goes towards religion, when you are essentially factoring in temples, you're probably looking at six really tall cities at the bare minimum. But you need to really be careful which districts you're putting down in which cities. Yeah, and that's pretty much the play here. The reason you need two campuses is because you need, I think astronomy is boosted by building a university next to a mountain. Yeah, two universities. Printing is unlocked with two universities. It means you need at least two campuses. and so on and so forth, pretty much. I'll make sure that the list of this calculation, the list of these districts that you need and the counts you need is in the description. It's a very similar, interesting situation for building units. So I'm just going to list out the things that you will need to build. You will need 2 galleys to get shipbuilding. You will need a slinger initially to boost archery, but eventually you'll probably need 3, because those 3 you will effectively turn them into archers, and those archers will boost you into machinery, unlocking crossbows. But here's where things get interesting. When you get crossbows, if you upgrade those crossbows, or rather, if you upgrade your archers into crossbows, and if you own 2 of them, you will unlock bombards. And the moment you unlock bombards, there is a risk, there is a chance that you will not be able to build trebuchets. So make sure that your trebuchets are built before this upgrade happens, just so that there is no doubt about having the ability to build trebs. I've run into this situation before with some of my games where, I missed this, and essentially I had to hard tech the tech. Now, hard teching is an option. I mean, in the worst case, if you cannot boost something, you will definitely have to hard tech it. But I believe, I mean, it's hard to tell how exactly the nerf is going to play out in real time with the loss of science from population. But it looks very likely that hard taking is not going to be easy. Which means I really, really want to plan around relying solely on eurekas. Yeah, eventually you will need like 3 line infantry for replaceable parts, which means you need at least 3 muskets or 3 warriors in the mix from the beginning to make sure you can get there and have them. Which really means you need strategics. You will be, hopefully there is one strategic all over your at least one of each type in your lands to give you enough room to build the stuff that you need. Yeah, let's take a look at this civic tree for a brief sec. Now, there are things here where having an alliance with a side civilization, right, is going to boost you to diplomatic service. Similarly, I think on the tech side of things, you can, I think not radio, chemistry is boosted by having a level 2 alliance. Now, having a level 2 alliance can be with spies, with the listening post, which means, yeah, you need at least one ally in the game somewhere on the map. If you don't have enough land, hopefully it's not your neighbor. But once you have that alliance, you can boost him with spies. And I believe spies will also be very, very useful and necessary for all things like rocketry, telecommunications, which are boosted only through a great scientist or spy. Again, if Babylon has a massive tech lead with against the other AI going into this game, then it's very, very possible that we are forced to hard tech into all of this. The tech tree and the civic tree in the actual challenge is going to be shuffled. So things are not going to exactly line up where you think they are, which is why I decided to make a list of all the things I want to do in the order of how the game is playing out. Yeah, you will need 2 biplanes. I believe you will need 3 tanks at some point. Yeah, I need 2 drones. Yeah, exploration is boosted by 2 caravels, and something boosts with 3 tanks somewhere. Yeah, 2 field cannons here. I'll put the list down in the description, but as from what I have, then from the notes that I have, you need 3 tanks, which typically you will upgrade them from knights to cuirassiers to tanks, 2 caravels, 2 field cannons, 2 privateers, 2 drones. Yeah, you need 4 trade routes to boost medieval fares. Now, which means your 2 harbors and the 2 commercial hubs that you will be building could give you those 4 trade routes. But really, like in my playstyle, I end up pairing harbors and commercial hubs. I try to pair a harbor and a commercial hub in the same city in a triangle form, which means, but only one of them. And if you place it that way, only one of them is going to give you a trade route capacity. So if you're relying purely on districts, then you're really looking at 6 districts in the combination of harbors and commercial hubs, which are going to give you your 4 trade routes. Which yeah, it adds a challenge. It adds an extra, which means your district count goes up, which means you will have to plan for more cities than 6 possibly. 6 is the bare minimum. So let's think about this, right? If you have, let's say you have only room for 4 cities and you are forward settled by neighbors, there is no doubt in my mind that in a situation like that, you are looking to go to war, and you will try to conquer it. You will try to get as much land under your control, cities under your control, from the get go before you settle down into some sort of a sim. I'm assuming, like, in the event that science victory is the only victory you can do this game, then yeah, then eventually the pivot into science will have to happen at some point. But in the early game, even in like the mid game, war is completely reasonable. Yeah, we talked about districts and units that we need. Oh, you need, I forgot about, yeah, you need a spearman, a musketman, and a knight to get the 3 kills. Like each of those kills will boost something. So military tactics is boosted by a spearman kill. Obviously, archery is boosted with a slinger kill. Musket kill is going to boost. Kill a unit with a knight. Military science is boosted with that. Oh yeah, square rigging. Square rigging is boosted with the musketman kill, which means you have to build at least one of those to make sure you get them. Now, along with districts and units, you have to also consider buildings and tile improvements. Yeah, there are things like you'll be building mines, but really the key thing here is, yeah, getting an iron mine for ironworking, but really getting 3 mines for apprenticeship, which is going to be very crucial. Similarly, on the culture side of things, you will need 3 farms to boost feudalism. Feudalism is very important, I believe, in this game, because it will unlock serfdom, which should make your life a lot easier. And I think serfdom is going to play a big part in this play. Yeah, you will need 1 quarry, 2 coastal resources, a pasture to boost stuff. Again, all this is on the road. You will need a trade route to begin with, but really to open the path up from currency and horseback riding into apprenticeship and stirrups. Yeah, you need all of that. But again, I'm looking at this direct chain here. The tech and the civic map will be shuffled, so things are going to look weird and wonky. Which means prioritizing. Like, let's say, for example, if mathematics is at the top of the tree into the classical era, if that happens and everything else depends on mathematics for you to go down, I mean, yes, you could unlock some of the other stuff, but your hook into the classical era is through mathematics, for example. Then you are forced to build 3 different specialty districts in your empire, even before anything else. So your priorities of your order of how you play and what you decide to do is going to depend purely on the nature of the shuffle of the deck and the civic tree. So really, paying close attention to that is very important. But yeah, but as far as buildings are concerned, this is Babylon. You will be building a palgum. In fact, a palgum should probably be one of your earliest buildings that you build. Yeah, getting an ancient wall in place, having lumber mills, 2 forts for, yeah, to boost ballistics. I pretty much never build them except as Babylon just for the boost and the tech. I typically have a play around them, which means you need military engineers pretty early, which means you need armories pretty early, and so on and so forth. So the way Babylon plays is some things will happen very fast, and depending on RNG and your map conditions, some things will look nearly impossible. You just have to, make lemonade from lemons, or whatever you're given, basically. You'll need an oil well at some point, 4 sewers, 3 military academies, and 3 factories, like we said, to unlock the governments. Um, yeah, for these. And yeah, even like a national park. So the interesting thing with national parks is, and the reason why I think national parks are important, is getting to radio is very crucial on the way to rocketry. So if you are heading to radio, and if boosting radio is a priority, you are boosting it through via a national park. But to build a national park, if you look at the civic tree, you need to be at conservation to unlock the naturalist. which means you need faith, which means you need to have some sort of a faith game. You may not need a religion per se, but you definitely need some kind of a faith game to make sure you have enough to at least buy one. But to get conservation, you need a neighborhood. To get neighborhood, you need to have a city to 15 pop, which means, and getting to 15 pop, as long as you have your amenities and housing accounted for, you will build neighborhoods, or you can build neighborhoods pretty early in the game. But the moment you do, you unlock conservation, you get a naturalist, place down a national park, and at that instant you have radio, which means again, this it is a unique play style. But like, considering this is if we are looking at a science victory and getting a spaceport, the road to spaceports and rocketry is through radio, which means, yeah, your play will have to involve something on that culture side of things also. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna make a list of all the things here that I've just talked about, maybe a few that I have missed, but essentially the list that I have here. Yeah, a quick consideration. I counted 20 districts, or 20 odd districts, to say that, yeah, we need at least 5 cities, possibly 6 cities, but that's not counting holy sites. If each city has a holy site, or you're building like a holy site in half your empire, yeah, you need more than 6 cities. Which means going into the game, in the early game, especially if you have any early like close neighbors, having a domination focus and a war focus is absolutely, will probably might be the only way to make sure you have enough land under your control to do and build all the things that you're trying to build. Plus, knowing who it is. Like, for example, if you end up with Pericles next to you, you know Pericles is going to build theta squares, which means, yeah, you can kind of ease off on your theta square plans. Or for example, if you have Korea next to you, you know they're going to build CO1s, so you can ease off on your CO1 plans. Which, I mean, I think that that's probably a bad idea though. Building campuses as Babylon is very important, because there are a lot of great people. Yeah, there are a lot of great people, like here, Zhang Hang, for example. He gives you eurekas off the bat: celestial navigation, mathematics, and engineering. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, this in this exact game, right? I mean, this is not this is just a test game, but in this exact situation, I will be highly tempted to place down place down a campus as soon as possible, and run campus projects to get him, basically. Yeah, I mean, plays like this. Yeah, there are other many there are many scientists. I mean, pretty much getting scientists, or having a play around getting great scientists is pretty critical as Babylon. Plus, some wonders give you free techs, and like getting Oxford. I don't think getting the Great Library is as important, but getting Oxford actually is. And Oxford is available at Scientific Theory, which means to get there you need the Enlightenment Civic. So, for example, if you want to get to Enlightenment fast, you need to earn 3 great people. So, I mean, just making sure that you have your 3 great scientists is pretty much enough to get here, get to Enlightenment, and unlock the ability to build Oxford. I know there are plays made where a lot of players have timed their Oxford to make sure that they get some techs. But again, we are looking at a shuffle tree, so so things are going to be very RNG based. So yeah, I mean, if we see the opportunity and the window to build Oxford, we will do it right off the bat, because yeah, it gives you 2 randomly chosen free techs. There are other wonders in here that give you civics. I think the Bolshoi gives you civics. So there are ample opportunities to do a lot of different things in this game. And again, the RNG, your map conditions, all of that is going to drive so much of this play. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Anyways, the list of the districts, units, and buildings and improvements, I believe I'm going to want to put them down in the description. Probably, if it's too long to add in the description, I'll probably make like a short document and put it up and make it shareable. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and yeah, stay tuned for the Babylon 3 stars each Redux. I'm pumped for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been having fun with the last few challenges, and I can't wait to start this one. Thank you.